tap the fuck in. What is good with all y'all, man? Last video I did the female rapper Mount Rushmore for the 2010s decade, and we had found out that Nicki Minaj was obvious, man. She was the first head to think of. Second head was Cardi B, and the third and fourth head, if you don't know who those are, I won't spoil those for you. Y'all go ahead and watch the video if y'all haven't seen it already. Had a lot of thumbnail issues and uploading issues for that video. I did not have a lot of space on my phone. I still don't have too much space on my phone. For some reason, anytime I delete apps, the space won't go down. I don't know what it is with that, but I'm kind of clearing up those issues now, and I'm doing a little better. So I'm able to even record this, which means that we're back in business. So with the male rap, Mount Rushmore, the two heads might be obvious. Even the third one might be pretty obvious. But the fourth one I had to do a lot of research for. Now, it's going to shock y'all. Probably not, but yeah. So before we even get into the Mount Rushmore, let me tell y'all who exactly was in the running to be on this Mount Rushmore. And of course, some of these names may shock you. Some names you might not hear. And of course, get vocal in that comment section. You know what I'm saying? So we could talk about it. If y'all don't hear one of your favorite rappers, you won't hear guys like Lil Pump or Denzel Curry or Smoke Perp or fucking, of course you won't hear Smoke Perp or Lil Pump. But you're not going to hear guys like Joey Badass or, Earl Sweatshirt or MF Doom or anything like that, you know? So, yeah. But beyond any case, man, let's just get on into the... Well, I was going to say competitors. This is not no fucking gladiators tournament. Let's get into the contenders for this Mount Rushmore. So, for the 2010s decade, we've got Drake, J. Cole, Big Sean, Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, Meek Mill, Travis Scott, Jay-Z, Future, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, A$AP Rocky, Nipsey Hussle, Tyler the Creator, Pusha T, and Childish Gambino. That's a pretty sparse list. I feel like it was a bit more for the females, but yeah, that is all you've got for the males. Now, let me tell y'all who is definitely not going to be the third nor fourth head, because I'm pretty sure y'all know who's the first and second. But let me tell y'all who's not going to be on here at all. And really, who even got considered because of a hair-shy amount of recognition throughout the years. Childish Gambino will not be considered for the fourth or third head. He was pretty solid for a few years. He was pretty up there a few years. But again, you've got to be really stern and really stand out the most to be in the top four for the men. Pusha T, yeah, stellar work throughout the 2010s, but again, never was really considered or really looked at as the guy or just one of the absolute best. Mixed in with, both genders. He really sometimes gets lost in the shuffle, but always gets brought up when we're talking about the guys who can actually rap. Tyler the Creator is another one. Tyler is a guy who really started to kind of make his own waves in 2000, and I would say 17, probably 18, with the Flower Boy album, and then going up to Igor. And it was really where he started to gain a ton of attention and win Grammys and such. And, it's a little too late, because since 2010, Tyler has really just been underground, and then up until Flower Boy, he hadn't really been known by a lot of rap fans. So yes, he can really be considered a great and or legend in the rap game for all he's done, but he was never really considered the man like the four that I have on this Mount Rushmore were considered the man, or at least the best. Another one is Nipsey Hussle. Now, Nipsey Hussle is a guy who never really received any big time attention up until, unfortunately, his death. I'm sure we all know about this now. Nipsey Hussle was, perceived as one of the best rappers after he had been killed. And it's unfortunate where in 2019 you've really, heard people say, oh, hey, Nipsey, man, he was that guy, he was that dude. oh my God, like, you know, it was just, at that point it was just too late to even give him this, you know, this love. So sadly, Nipsey won't be in the running either. Travis Scott is the other one that will not be considered. Yeah, Travis Scott was there. He was there for, you know, since 2013. But he really started to heat up and become a serious contender a little too late. All the guys that I have on the Mount Rushmore are guys who, ever since they kind of popped off, they've been big shit since they really initially became noticed. Another one, of course, obviously is Rick Ross, a guy who, again, you know, had tons of attention, I'd say, for 2 years, sporadic years, but then after that, you know, he really was looked at more as a guy who could enhance your album, guy who could be, you know, oh shit, you know, oh, Rick Ross is on the album, cool, you know, a feature guy. Another guy would be A$AP Rocky. A$AP, I would say, really blew, you know, his own case here by having so many hiatuses, you know, caring more for his fashion and stuff. You know, he's really chasing the bag, so can't really get mad at him for this one. Yeah, he's definite, man. Let me tell you something. The man's winning in life because he's with Rihanna, so it doesn't matter if he's on this list. It really doesn't. Another guy that, you know, we can't consider would be Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is a guy who took a long ass hiatus. It really started to come back, you know, when he was about to announce the Carter 5 album, which ever since then he really has been a mainstay in the rap game. He's been making music. Might I add, he's been regressed, but he has been making music. Won't lie to you, man. Lil Wayne didn't have a shot here, but from what I've seen and from what I listened to from the years that he did have a lot of buzz on his name, I had no choice but to put him on here. You never can't count. You know, you can't completely count out Lil Wayne. Another guy would be Jay-Z. And Jay-Z actually almost made it for fourth, because Jay-Z, believe it or not, has made a ton of noise for about 3 years. You know, when he dropped what was it called, Holy Grail, Magna Carta, 444, and then I think it was the Carter's album. You know, anytime Jay-Z really even gave himself attention, and I do mean give himself attention, like he does all his promo and everything, and the media just pick it up and they take it from there, he was taken as a serious threat. People looked at Jay-Z as, hey, look at this dude, like he's here. And it's crazy that a guy from the 90s could still carry so much weight in the 2010s. It's absolutely incredible. I know y'all may have noticed that Eminem was not a consideration. Eminem is, I'm sorry, Eminem could not. I mean, we're talking about 2000s. Yeah, oh no shit, man. Eminem is probably the guy for the 2000s. But, you know, when I get to that list, we'll get to that list. But for the 2010s, I'm sorry, Eminem just was not a consideration with albums like Revival and, Recovery and stuff like that. So, not to say those albums are absolutely, dog shit, but, they don't help his case, is what I'm saying. Another rapper, Meek Mill, had absolutely no fucking shot. 2 years, I'd say he had a real good case, but 2 years out of 10 is really not good enough. Another guy is Big Sean, and Big Sean almost scratched and got this one. Yeah, Big fucking Sean. Go figure, right? But 3 years out of 10 where he really had a lot of attention, where people were really looking at Big Sean as someone who could probably break that ceiling as someone who can actually comfortably be considered as a great or legend. And honestly, I think a lot of us have been sleeping on Big Sean. Of course, that's a joke for just in case if Amir gets to this point, because of course, Big Sean could never have been considered the best rapper as long as, you know, all these four guys on the Mount Rushmore were around. But, you know, yeah, if those guys weren't around, you know, you probably could consider him. Maybe. I guess. Another guy that I tried to consider, or another guy that was almost, y'all also may notice a guy like Wale isn't on here. Of course, Wale isn't on here, so just throwing that joke out there. Yeah, another guy, Kanye West. Kanye West, yeah, he misses the list. And he misses it by a hair shy. He misses it by just a little bit. Kanye has had a lot of absences from the game. It's really been 3 years, three specific years where he really was the big dog on campus. And it was years where he dropped my beautiful dark fantasy. I keep fucking up that name. You know, you got Life of Pablo, you got Yeezus, you got Ye, you got Kids See Ghosts. You know, you got all these albums, but it's really 3 years in particular that really stood out for Kanye. You know, 1 year you really could have said that Kanye was the best rapper. I'd say maybe 2011. Probably 11, maybe 10, if you don't give that one to Drake. But yeah, Kanye was close. He really was close here. But beyond any case, excuse me, my phone is shut off mid-recording. So beyond any case, let's get on into the official Mount Rushmore. Yeah, of course Drizzy is first, man. Of course he is. Drake very well might not just be the best rapper from the 2010s. He very well might be the best fucking artist from the 2010s. Considering he just won the Artist of the Decade at the Billboard Music Awards. Man, I gotta say, not a hard pick, honestly. Dude has the most hits ever, if I'm not mistaken. I think he has more than the Beatles, which is crazy. Most, number ones or whatever, most top 10 hits, whatever the case may be. Like, man. But we're talking about the 2010s. Now, since 2010, all the way up to 2020, Drake has been considered to be either one of the best rappers or the best rapper. Now, it's pretty fucking obvious how much impact he's had on the game. People still like to leave him out of the best rapper of all time conversation. They really like to, you know, look at Drake and be like, well, the ghostwriters, they really hinder his path to want to be one of the best. It's like, how? How? There's not been too many artists to make this big of a jump, this big of a wave. It's like when you think of rap, now you think of guys like Drake, and you know what I'm saying? He's gave us a lot of great music. So yeah, for all of the 2010s decade, this has been like the guy. This has been one of the first rappers you think of when you think of rap. Whether it be on the radio, whether it be just streaming Spotify, this guy was at one point someone you listen to. Can't dispute it. Kendrick Lamar for sure was gonna be the second head. No fucking competition here for these two. Like, these guys really played hot potato for who was the best rapper. And Kendrick Lamar really started to take off in 2011. If you really want to be technical, it was 2010. But we're going to say 2011 just because he was on that XXL class. 2011 and forward, Kendrick Lamar really went back and forth with Drake for who was the best rapper in the game for the 2010s decade. And I mean, it's quite evident. Some say that Kendrick was the best. Some say that Drake was the best. I am going on a whim to say that there's really 1A, 1B, because really these two they really put rap higher and higher on the map, higher and higher on the radar. These guys 1000% deserve their flowers for being great rappers, being on that top 100 list if you have one. You know what I'm saying? These guys have to have a spot, especially Drake, but Kendrick Lamar for sure. This is a guy who mastered getting on the radio. This is a guy who went from the underground and didn't really have too much of, you know what I'm saying, the push that Drake may have had, the upbringing that he may have had, because we're talking about two different sides. We're talking about a kid who was moderately, you know, wealthy to a guy who was broke and had to fight his way up. We're talking about a guy who pretty much had to, you know, didn't have Lil Wayne co-signing him. But, you know, I mean, Kendrick didn't even get on the XXL first in his group. You know, J-Rock got on the XXL first, and, you know, that's kind of crazy. I even forgot J-Rock was on the XXL, but, I mean, you know, Kendrick for sure deserves his spot. The guy can rap. The guy can tell a story. He won a Pulitzer. You know, no other rapper, no other musician, I don't think, has done that. But here we go. We got a rapper dropping an album and getting a Pulitzer Award for it. You know, what was that, Pulitzer or Nobel Peace Prize? I think it was a Pulitzer. Man, this dude, impact is not even the first word to think of when you think of Kendrick Lamar. Legend, GOAT, one of the GOATs, one of the best to ever do it. That's Kendrick. I mean, seriously. These guys for sure played hot potato with I'm the best rapper. Nah, 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 I'm the best rapper in the game. Like, really, you could really debate that it was really, Drake and 13, you know. Oh, speaking of 2014, J. Cole was the guy who I had to make sure was going to be the third head here because, you know, people just like to throw him there just because they say he was great, but I had to really, truly make sure. And yeah, Drake and, you know, Kendrick may have played hot potato with who the best rapper was, but I say it's really a toss-up between these three who could have really took over 2014. Because all three of these guys really did a tremendous job in 2014. Seriously. I'll give it to J. Cole just for that 1 year, but every other year you really could give it to, you know, Drake or Kendrick. Now, 14 may be a toss-up for Cole, but other than that year, I really say for the rest of the 2010s decade, J. Cole's either considered to be one of the best rappers or if he was 1, 2, or 3 for you. He really hasn't left that top 10 conversation pretty much his entire career. So we're talking about the 2010s. J. Cole is definitely somebody who's always been in that upper echelon. So you can't, you know, take him, you know, you got projects like, you know, KOD, you know, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, Born Center, you know, we got, you know, off season even, but I mean, even if it came out, you know, it come out this year, it's a testament to how great J. Cole really is. And the 2010s decade really cemented him as one of the best rappers of all time, greatest rappers of all time even. So if you could put Drake and Kendrick in the, you know, great conversation, you definitely got to add J. Cole because, hell, Drake and J. Cole might be super defined for the 2010s decade, but J. Cole definitely, if those two weren't around, would have took the mantle as best undisputed rapper. And, you know, not to say that, you know, all the other guys that I mentioned way back wouldn't have had a shot, because definitely they would have had a ton of openings. Ton of rappers would have definitely, you know, probably been on the radio over Drake and Kendrick. Would have been on the radio over a J. Cole. Would have been on the radio over a Kanye or something if Kanye wasn't making music back in 2000 and, you know, the 2000s. So, yeah, Kendrick definitely is going to be here. You know, Drake is definitely going to be here for sure. They're just undisputed. But J. Cole is a guy who, if I had to put a percentage, Drake was 100, you know, Kendrick was 100. J. Cole was a guy who was quite literally 90%. 80% if you want to be a hater, 50 I guess, but yeah, no, the guy was missing this one. He's somebody I had to do my research on and see if he was, you know, what they were saying. So yeah, shout out to J. Cole. But now, what we've all been waiting for, this fourth head, who took the spot? Who is the guy who wound up becoming the, the future for rap? And it's just that. The king of misogyny himself, Hendrix Future, is the fourth head for the 2010's decade. Now, all those other guys that I had mentioned, the Meeks, the Big Seans and stuff, they really had, 1 or 2 years, some 3 years where they were, considered to even crack the top 10, even considered to be one of the best. Kendrick and Drake really, played hot potato. J. Cole was always super close to those two. But Future is a guy who, since blowing up, has always been in the upper echelon alongside these three. And honestly, if Kanye West, I'll say this much. If Kanye West would have been a lot more active and probably would have been a lot more, less of a piece of shit in the media and focused more on his music, I would definitely consider putting Kanye West in this spot. And he definitely would have took this one unanimously. But Future is a guy for, I would say, he blew up in 2013. So really, Future would have 7 years to really be better than he was. But I'll say after 2013, because he really wasn't, making super great hits in that year. 2014 is where he really started to pick it up. And then 15 is really where Future started to become undeniably one of the best listens for rap fans. And really, half a decade versus 1 or 2 years for everyone else, that's much better. And honestly, you take Future out of the rap game and you have a much more boring rap game. You have a rap game that doesn't have somebody who can literally have fun on a beat and teach you how to just have, just listen without having to listen out for lyrics. I mean, when you listen to a guy like J. Cole, you gotta listen out for the lyrics, you gotta listen out for the vibes. When you listen to a guy like Drake, you gotta listen out for the vibes and the energy set. When you listen to a guy like Kendrick, you gotta listen to the lyrics, the energy set, the story, where it's headed, the Easter eggs and everything. When you listen to a guy like Future, you're just listening to music and you're listening to those great beats and you're listening to, a man who loves what he loves what he's doing, do what he's doing. And it's just great. It's perfect. So Future was obvious here. Future was definitely obvious here. I say obvious because, after it was only obvious after I did my research, but if I was to do a Mount Rushmore of rap altogether, some of these guys might not be on there. Who knows? I'm definitely gonna put that in the option for my post. But speaking of a post, man, that is all I've got for y'all. 4 heads, 4 guys, 4 fucking legends of the rap game. And yes, I said legend. Future's definitely a legend. J. Cole's a legend. Drake and Kendrick are definitely legends. So, in any case, man, get in that comment section, get vocal. I'm gonna make another post seeing what y'all want me to make a video on next. Or which one of these Mount Rushmores, because this is super fun for me to do. Gives me an opportunity to actually, do my research and look up, the greats of the game. But beyond any case, man, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and vibe. Have a good time, and I will see all of y'all later, man. Peace out. Hit that out.
Get that shit dirty old twat. 69